Hey, just want to welcome you back to the next session of the Silage Zone podcast. Going to talk about harvest today. Exciting time of year. We've had a challenging year in a lot of places of Wisconsin. We're going to talk about what that meant to the crop and best estimate of what it means going to mean once you start feeding it. Okay, so in 2021 we did our usual high chop, normal chop at 20 inch and 8 inch. We did 28 samples across the state from south central to northwest, north central, and northeast Wisconsin. So we sent all the samples in, got NDFD 30s on them, and basically on the 20 inch, all samples, including BMR and standard hybrids, we were at 65.7 versus 64. Now think about this. This is probably a good 2 to 3 weeks ahead of actual harvest period, okay? So 65.7 to 64, a little less than 2.7% difference. If you look at the standard by themselves, 63.7 versus 62, okay? A little bit greater than 2.7%. And then when you look at the BMR by itself, 70.6 versus 68.9, a little bit less than 2.5% difference. What do we typically expect? When we look at the Wu and Ross study that was done at Penn State, where they summarized 11 studies with paired comparisons, basically they found that the fiber digestibility increased by 6.7%. So when we think back on the year about the growing environment we had, somewhat limited moisture, which we know is the biggest negative to fiber digestibility pre-tassel, this looks like it's going to be a good fiber digestibility year. Now we probably suffered a little bit on biomass as far as the height of the plant and the tons that can bring, but we've gotten some pretty timely rains late to where we're still going to have a chance to lay on starch, get some more dry matter tons put into that plant, and as long as the plant health is good, I think we're going to have a relatively good fiber digestibility year. So what's that mean? If you need a few more tons to chop a little bit lower, you shouldn't get penalized on your fiber digestibility. Whereas if you wanted to chop higher thinking you're going to get a big increase in fiber digestibility, it may not be the best year to do it. So as long as we've got good plant health maintained in that plant as we go through grain fill period, we should end up with a good healthy plant. Maybe not quite as many tons because our plants are a little bit shorter than usual, but we're going to have great fiber digestibility, I believe. And if we can get some starch laid in there before the plant just quits, because we are ahead on GDUs by 8 to 10 days in most places, that plant is ahead of what I would say the ear is. So the plant may start senescing actually early compared to grain fill. So we're going to have to make sure we're keeping an eye on those fields, making sure the plants are healthy, get out there, get the right harvest moisture for that window of about 63 to 68% in general to get the maximum starch, maximum fiber digestibility. I think it's going to be a great year. We're going to have silage burn downs beginning last week, Thursday, down in Dane County. We're going to have them each day, Monday in northwest Wisconsin in Durand, north central on Tuesdays in Edgar, northeast Wisconsin on Wednesdays up in Pulaski. Then it'll go down to Dane County on Thursdays, back up to Barron County on Fridays. So reach out to your local agency, bring your samples in, get them tested, find out where your total plant moisture is, and have a great harvest. Make sure you're putting a good inoculant on the silage. Pioneer has the top of the line. Make sure you preserve what you put up and that it's there when you go to feed it out. All right, I hope that's helpful. Have a great harvest, a safe one, and I think it's going to be a great feed for 21 and 22 to be feeding out to your cows. Reach out to your local Pioneer agency or myself, james.smith@pioneer.com, if you have any questions or want further information. Thanks. Have a great day.
That concludes this Pioneer Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.